And we are now live. I'm here with Keith Acton. We are going to be bringing up the news you most likely have heard all over the internet.
Mhm.
Spider-Man is going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Our prayers have been answered for the most part, uh,
Woo!
depending on what your prayers are. But I think we all agreed we want Spider-Man in the universe the Avengers exist in, and it looks like we're going to be getting that. So to kick it off, Keith, what are your thoughts about this new development? What do you think? How do you think it could be done right?
Yay! Well, let's see. Kevin Feige or Feige, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's co-producing the next Sony Spidey movie. So it does seem as though Andrew Garfield is out, so they are getting a new actor.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is that it's going to be the next one. This is just speculation. Will be a soft reboot, whereas the continuity will be like kept intact, but like different, different actors. So they'll probably be like setting things up, and Sinister Six is still happening. So they'll probably be introducing elements in those movies that will be carried over into the MCU movies. And we know well, shit, they can't do Norman Osborn, but I know he shows up in Civil War. Venom does. Vulture. So I definitely, it is. I mean, it is for the for the best that it happened. I mean, now any elements that from Spider-Man that flood into the greater Marvel universe. Now Marvel Studios can like pick those elements and make hopefully the best movies possible.
Sinister Six. Hmm, I don't know.
Yeah, I think hopefully Kevin Feige will be producing on that one as well. I hope they're gonna reel in that, you know.
For those who are questioning who that is one. He was one of the producers from the original run, right?
Yes, he's basically the Marvel producer guy.
Okay,
Kevin.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard some stuff today that apparently it's going to be a. I think it's kind of a negative, but this Peter Parker. I'm not sure if it's officially Peter Parker. I think it said Spider-Man is going to be in high school again, which for me it's just like, must we go back to high school? But hopefully it can be done right.
Yeah, I was actually last weekend. I was watching the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon.
Hmm.
It's where they do just that, and it's fantastic. The way it sets up more things like in the first three episodes than like they do like in three movies. Basically, yeah, Peter's in high school. He's interning for Doc Connors. Meanwhile, Norman Osborn has stolen Tombs? What the hell is the Vulture's name? Steals his flight tech. It's basically introducing all of these elements, and they come together fantastically. It changes a couple things around from the source, but it makes it work. It's like a well-oiled machine. Every episode, you're getting like more character development, and you're seeing more things set up. And I'm watching it, going, if they just made this into the movie, everything will be fine. Just a literal translation of what's already there. I don't know why they have to turn it into shit.
Yeah. That I'm sure we can pretty much agree that the where we saw the Sinister Six's origins, or technically origins,
Mm.
where it was about to happen, like
In the basement.
the beta stage, yeah, the beta stage, Sinister Six we saw at the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and end of the movie. Um, that was terrifying, where where we just saw Amazing Spider-Man 2 headed, and
Yeah.
I've noticed lately there's been a lot of fanboys defending Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I think even Sony agrees that better luck next time. Like
Yeah, I would not. It would not surprise me if they shrugged off details like that. It's like, oh no, that didn't happen.
yeah,
That.
I mean that's the way I look at it. That's how I looked at it. It's better luck next time. Like they they knew it sucked. We knew it sucked, and the people that they developed the movie, um, they were clever because they convinced people that a couple cosmetic things to the film were enough to fix it, like to make people like it more than the last one. Like, oh, he's got web shooters, he's got Gwen Stacy. Um, True, the Spider-Man of the 616 main universe does happen to have those. Now, let's go into what it didn't have, and that's a whole other discussion. So we've definitely thoroughly talked about that. I'm sure we'll probably get a little bit of we'll be able to sip a little bit of the haterade this episode about that film just to get it out a little more. I can endlessly talk about Amazing Spider-Man 2.
You're gonna make me do like a video, like play by play,
Yeah,
just to refer to people, just like no,
our
no, no.
commentary.
Chief did this hour-long dissertation about why the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the cause of cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe we should do our own commentary, like what we do actually. I think we'd actually do a pretty funny commentary because we really don't like this film. Like we really just dislike it. It is just. I mean, if you guys have not checked it out, we have a long video about the films and or about the film really, why they went wrong and how to fix it. And I think one of the things we suggested was, I think we both agreed that if we're going to introduce Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is to get a new actor. That was one of the first choices, or bring back Toby. And I'm glad they used one of the two. I mean, I like Andrew. Don't get me wrong. I think that he did his best, and it's unfortunate that he's losing such a fun role. But it's the connotation I can see why they're not doing it. They don't want the connotation of the series that just sucked, and they had to sacrifice a good actor and a good actress. And I mean, did you hear the rumors that they were gonna bring back Gwen or something like that for 3? Or
Yeah, I don't
Tackle
know.
or something?
I don't know, man. Yeah, like a clone, or I don't know if it'd be flashbacks. I don't fuck. It's ugh.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how Peter's dad is still alive.
And they're never gonna address it. I know how this is gonna go, dude. I know it's gonna happen. 15 years from now, people are gonna want to they're gonna want to see the movie. They're gonna want to see, like, it's gonna become a cult classic. I'm banking that this Amazing Spider-Man 2 is gonna be like, I wouldn't say like the Room of the series, but for lack of a better term, the Room of the comic book Spider-Man movies. So I think it's gonna be like Superman Lives. Like later down the line, people are gonna be like, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 sucked. They were gonna make an Amazing Spider-Man 3. What could have been?
Yeah, it's like the yeah. They look at like concept art. It's like, this was gonna be insane.
Yeah, like I think that there's gonna be, like, I can see comedy over the next like 15 years and maybe even later where it's just like, what could have been? Like
Salty snacks everywhere. Aunt May gets turned into a giant pretzel.
bag of Lays. You gotta make sure branding, brand strength there, brand continuity.
And then Spider-Man using his Sony Xperia Z.
Yeah, I mean, I had a big argument recently. I mean, I always have these discussions, but before I really started looking online in these groups about they made like these comic book groups I'm in, I thought that it was unilateral, that everyone just missed the Sam Raimi films, and no, as you noticed as well, it's got a lot of fans, and unfortunately, I mean, there are some intelligent ones, but most of them, they don't know what a good movie consists of. They know what they like, and that's very different from like a good film. Those are two different things.
Yeah, it's all a matter of like for the most part, it just seems to be a matter of preference. Like, they really did not like Tobey Maguire. Like, fair enough.
Fair enough. All right.
Fair enough. But like, you have to concede to some degree that there's just so much shit in these new ones that do not make sense. And as bad as well, much of them. I mean, I can't even say bad because I still enjoy it to some degree. What of a mess Spider-Man 3 turned out to be. There wasn't much in it that like didn't make sense,
Mm-hmm. There were cringeworthy parts, like the dance scene with Gwen Stacy. I thought. I mean, it's just parts that were this. Oh God.
Poorly done. It was a mess.
Yes,
sure.
but I still sort of. I mean, I still cared for the characters. So when Harry died, it was just like, oh man. I mean, we grew with those people, and
Yeah.
when I saw Gwen Stacy die, it was like, oh look, one of the things that I liked about the film. It's I sort of liked it. That sucks. I saw
Yeah.
it coming. I mean, I've never seen that much foreshadowing in a long time. I think the only time I've seen foreshadowing this hardcore about her dying was probably Anakin Skywalker in the prequels. Like, we get it, you beat Vader, man. Like, okay, get it over with, man. Get in the suit. Like that's like I really sometimes foreshadowing works if it's done cleverly, but then there's times where it's just like we get it, guys. You're just writing a script to kill this person. Just killing time to get rid of him.
I'm just trying to think of like the moment in the prequels, just like Anakin, uh, Darth, what's his face could cheat anything, even death, or like he could
I
bring
know.
back the dead.
It was like,
I'm
dude.
just trying to think of the Spider-Man equivalent to that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like Harry coming out, just like, hey, he could have just like, hey, your dad's been alive the whole time,
Well, I mean, it was no. I mean, that was kind of like it was kind of like when you're watching, you're like, okay, this guy turns into the Green Goblin. I'm sure he'll turn to the Green Goblin if you don't see the promotions, where there's sort of the Green Goblin running around. But it's like, oh, I'm sure he's going to become the Green Goblin over time. Like some chain of events have got to happen that are convincing. But then it's just like, I need Spider-Man's blood. Oh, sorry, no. All right, I'm a Goblin now. Wait, what? Like that. That I think was kind of like it. It was just like when I saw the Goblin blood thing, I was like, and we have our motive. We got that out of the way.
It's like, well, hold up, Harry. That was a shaky plan to begin with. Okay, you got a grudge because he wouldn't give you his. Well, what if it killed you? What
I
if?
know. Well, I don't know, and I've got to hate him, and like, and if Harry Osborn, like the nemesis of Peter Parker, and I know that I personally like Venom more, but if we're talking about like who is the quintessential, like arguably the best nemesis of Spider-Man, it is most likely Harry Osborn Green Goblin or Norman Osborn Green Goblin. So one of the biggest ones ever, like who has of such a flush world of stories behind him to choose from, and that is the extent of his motivation. It's like, oh my God, what's gonna happen when the Vulture shows up? Like he's got nothing in the comics to these guys, and they have horrible origins, and the Vulture's thinner than those guys. Ugh, and you're just gonna hand him the wings. Oh, anyways, so the implications of this, how I guess I'll start off with what I think's gonna happen. My first thought is I think we're gonna see a teaser in Age of Ultron. Like we're gonna see like a teaser at the end of Spider-Man. So I think that Civil War hopefully will be a Spider-Man centric storyline. That happened. Not Spider-Man centric, but he is the tipping point.
He's a
Like,
keystone, character.
yeah, he's
For
not like
sure.
I heard initially they were thinking like Black Panther, and it was like, hold up, wait, if T'Challa is the king of Wakanda, and Black Panther is a mantle passed to the king of Wakanda, then what's the point of him unmasking if we know who he is? It's like
Right.
Mr. Fantastic. I'm gonna reveal who I am, Reed Richards. Yeah, we knew that. Yeah, it's not. So it's like, oh, we're gonna take his mask off. It's like Tony Stark. Can you imagine the scene? Actually, it's like you all have to remove your masks. I'll start with mine. Everyone, I'm Iron Man. Yeah, we got that. We got that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely yeah, I'm just God. I'm just it is quite an undertaking. Like I wonder how far they'll well, oh yeah, well you guys were like fighting the Chitauri and all that. I was, just being Spider-Man over here. Like I
Well,
wonder if that's gonna I wonder exactly how they're gonna weave that in, like I guess I don't know. Are they gonna redo an Origins? Like I'm just trying to. Are they
here's my
gonna go?
guess.
Yeah.
I got to guess about that. Um, the T'Chari attacking New York City. At the end of the day, yes, they did attack New York City, and it was pretty intense. But it it could have been a lot worse. Like they could have actually damaged a lot more of the city. But in that whole like pandemonium going on. I think I see a number of ways to do it. Like for instance, um, when the Avengers assembled, no one knew who they were, and at that point, Spider-Man's probably got a lot of bad press as is. So he probably wanted to focus more on saving people and keeping them out of harm's way than being in the limelight, because he probably had like J. Jonah Jameson on his ass already. So he probably is like, okay, I can be more useful saving people, and I don't know what is going on. That's he's because he is a street level hero. He's not like Hulk or someone that can like lift 100 billion tons. He's kind of a street level dude. So that's part of my guess.
That would actually be really cool. I can actually see that. It's just like, there'd be like a flashback scene, like there's some action going on, and he's just like way in the back, just like just scooping people up.
Yeah, like he probably was. If he's a, don't forget, if Civil War takes place, like 2 years or something like that after the events of the first Avengers movie, and Peter Parker's still in high school, then my guess is he probably got bit by the spider. Here's another idea. He got bit by the spider shortly after the events of New York. So
Right.
he may have developed his powers after. I hope it's not that, but because I would have rathered Spider-Man have more of a history, because the unmasking is a bigger deal. But I could tolerate him having a shorter career and him getting the powers after the events of New York, or right before the events of New York, and he didn't know what to do with his powers. I don't know. If I had it my way, I would have. I know people might disagree with this, but I would have had Toby show up and him being the veteran Spider-Man, and him just kind of not being involved after Harry's death for a while there, and he comes back out of the shadows to take on to be a martyr for Iron Man's cause.
Hmm.
So those are plausible, but is it? Wait, doesn't Sony? Okay. Does Sony have rights over their own movies, but do they have the rights over Spider-Man in the Marvel movies?
I imagine that they're gonna get like some kind of like royalties. I guess I have no clue, because it almost sounds like they're licensing the character to them rather than like selling the rights completely. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, I read a little more into that today. Some of the parts of the deal apparently were leaked. As far
yeah.
as I'm concerned, Marvel did not have to pay for anything, and same with Sony. Now here's how it works. Sony has complete rights to Spider-Man in regards to their own movies. They're allowed to make their own movies, and in terms of Marvel, Marvel can use Spider-Man and not have to pay Sony. Now, I don't know about who owns rights for what, but Marvel made the deal on $0. Both sides are able to use the character in their own films. It's just Spider-Man's exclusive films are going to be Sony. There was actually, just kind of as an aside, I saw this comment earlier and it was so dumb. They were talking about like, hold on, let me pull it up. Yeah, some guy goes, I wonder what would happen if Disney bought Sony. You mean Sony,
Yeah, I
the whole
saw that
company?
you posted that. What is
I was like, way to get. As I posted, I was like, way to get ahead of yourselves, guys. You Sony Pictures, maybe? But I'm pretty sure Sony is making way more money.
God, I swear, one day I'm gonna wake up and realize that literally everyone on the internet is 12 years old. Like it's
Yeah.
literally just all been a prank. Like
Yeah. How could a company with like a fraction of the money Sony makes? We're an $8 trillion company. We're a $48 billion company. We're gonna buy the $8 trillion one. How, on an IOU? Like, what?
Oh,
So
God.
Disney owns all PS3s or something like that. That was such a. I mean, I'm glad people are excited, but it was like, dude, let's just Google, dude. Just Google. Sony's. They don't just make movies. They make a few other things. They make Walkmans. Did you know that? But yeah. There was that one. I suppose we should get into what are your thoughts. And I'm pretty sure you and I agree on this next part here too. What are your thoughts on Fox and how they own the movies, like with their superhero movies, Fox?
Fantastic Four, meaning that God and of course X-Men.
Yes.
I don't know, because it's like I don't think has any X-Men movie like been disappointing at the box office, like, because I know that's part of the incentive for Sony, like this Amazing Spider-Man 2's numbers were pretty bad for a Spider-Man movie. They were
Yes.
pretty decent overall, but like not for a Spider-man movie.
Yes,
So
and
I don't know. I guess this Fantastic Four movie, if it bombs, it will be the tipping point. They'll like sort of like, yeah, maybe we should do what Sony did.
I hope so, because I mean, the and for Fox they have a limited universe to work in, but with Marvel, um, the Fantastic Four, they have good stories, but they flourish when it comes to the sorry, I'm not thinking. Oh, yeah, they flourish when it comes to crossovers. Reed
Yeah.
Richards and Doctor Doom are in their element when they are in events that capture the entire universe, because it shows that on Earth at least, Reed Richards and Doctor Doom are two of the top, if not the smartest guys on Earth. So it turns into a giant chess game between the both of them. That's when they're in their element, because Reed Richards, forget his powers, okay? He would be just as impressive without his powers, because his mind is what makes him so awesome. And
Right.
with Doctor Doom, same thing there. Like they're just not damn smart. So when I heard they're making a standalone film, and I guess we should go into why it's not exactly exciting. Um, uh, when you have a realistic take on a guy that turns into a rock man, uh, a guy who can light on fire, an invisible woman, and a dude that turns into Stretch Armstrong, called the Fantastic Four. I have a hard time believing that it's going to be believable. Well, because they're like, we're gonna make it like a Christopher Nolan film, and they said that they're gonna make it's not gonna be based on many of the comics. I think they may have recanted that part, but yeah, they said they're gonna make it realistic, dark and gritty, and I mean that initially scared me, but then they brought up what they're doing with Doctor Doom, and that broke the film for me.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, at here's the thing. Like at best, it may be. I'm hoping that it's weird. I kind of just want to watch a weird Fantastic Four movie. The trailer didn't exactly blow me away, but I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm intrigued. But the problem in that is that it's not going to leave any sort of lasting impact, even if it's just entertaining. It's probably not going to set itself up for anything greater. I mean, which is what the Marvel film set out to do. Like, yeah, we want to make like each film, a standalone, popcorn movie. It makes a lot of money, but a it is a piece to a much larger puzzle, and that's what leaves like that cultural footprint.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
with
tempting.
yeah,
It's tempting, Keith, but we can't. We gotta think of the bigger picture, man. We
I
gotta.
know, no, I know. I'm not. I honestly just do not feel that strongly one way or the other. That's just how I'm going with it. Yes, I do feel that. I mean, of course, they should be under the loving arms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But like as far as the movie itself is concerned, I just don't feel that strongly one
Yeah.
way or the other.
Kind of as an aside, speaking of stupid, have you heard about? And we won't go into this very far, guys, but I just want to get your opinion because I just discovered this tonight. What are your thoughts on The Boy Next Door? It's a non-comic book movie, but there's a thing from it. There's something from it I just
The Iliad,
discovered.
the
The,
thing about the Iliad.
Iliad. The Iliad.
That's amazing.
For those who are not aware, the story is about Jennifer Lopez plays she's like an English teacher, and she has a fling with some 19-year-old student or whatever, blah blah. And one of the big parts of the story was he's a big fan and she's a big fan of the Iliad. Homer's The Iliad, which is a 3,000 or so year old poem that was written by Homer, and so to make her happy, he shows up and is like, "Hey, I got you something." And she looks at the book and is like, "It's a first edition."
First edition. Oh my
I'm
god!
pretty
First
sure.
off, yeah. What's beautiful about this is that it's a twofer. It's two blunders into one. First, a first edition of the Iliad is probably engraved into tablets.
I know.
Like there is no
And it
first
was
edition of the Iliad.
yeah, I know. And there's one that okay, first off, yes, there's no first edition of it. Second of all, Um,
Good for a
wasn't
book at a garage sale.
I found it at a garage sale, and then on top of it, it's a Greek poem. So how could it be a first edition in English? I'm just guessing that it's in English because I don't know. Maybe it wasn't brought up, but that's another thing I'm guessing. Oh, it's first edition. I didn't know she could read Greek, but whatever. Then on top of it, how long was the Iliad? Was it long? Was it like a gigantic poem, or did it
God.
require 500 pages? Because that was a big book.
Yeah, it was enormous. Like
That's great.
it's
Yeah.
it's an epic poem. It's not like it's not like Harry Potter. It's not.
I
It's
knew it
still a
was longer.
poem.
I looked at the book and I was like, it's been a while. It was like, okay, is it
Let me
that
see.
big or not? Because it just looked like he just got some book and it's like, oh, this is the Iliad. They found it at a garage sale. Um, but yeah, guys, the Iliad is like 3,000 years old, and I'm not an expert of literature, but when your character is, can you Google it, please? And I don't mind it. Guys like Keith and that's gold. Like we thrive on this stuff. Like I am now convinced to see the movie. Like
It's
this
in
is
theaters. Like that's a B movie blunder. Like that is something you leave in a direct to video production, and Jennifer Lopez in theaters. Like
she's back.
it's
She's
amazing. Yeah.
doing stuff again. She's back. Hey. Uh, so I was reading. Apparently, there was an article about that the screenwriter of that he actually made an announcement where he's like, "That wasn't me, guys. That wasn't me. It was the producer." I love how he's pointing fingers now at the person behind that. He's like, "I didn't do that." Yeah.
It's like no, clearly no one understood. Like even not J Lo's to blame, the writers to blame, the directors and like everybody let that happen. Like not even that's on everybody. Like
I
the guy holding the boom mic should have stepped in, just like yeah,
know.
about that, because
Yeah.
I went to high school, you know,
The Iliad.
that's what you said is really stupid.
How much did that cost you? Oh, it was nothing. Let's actually think. Let's. I would love to see the numbers crunched. That if the original tablet or whatever of the Iliad was for sale, how much would that actually be? And just someone crunch the numbers for me, and let's see how much that is. But yes, yeah, I'm digressing at this point. But is it me, or did the Fantastic Four look like someone who saw Interstellar and he got really excited? Like there's a lot of Interstellar in
There's a lot of foreboding cornfields
there's a
in these blockbuster films.
cornfields, and then like in the same thing, like somebody brought up that it's a thing about space. It's got the same like coloring scheme, big cornfields, and there's like, hey, look, a black guy got caught on fire. It's just that one. If it wasn't in context of everything else in the film, it was just like this is very Interstellar. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I liked Interstellar, but
Yeah, it is. It has. I part of me just hopes it's an entertaining, weird sci-fi movie. Oh, it almost kind of reminds me of like, I don't know,
I
in
can't buy
some
it.
weird way, like David Cronenberg,
Mhm.
but I don't know. It will just. It's weird because it's a late summer blockbuster. It's coming out in August. Usually like the big ones come out like May, June, July.
Oh.
They're putting it like the end of summer. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting.
I want to see Secret Wars. Like I don't want. I know that I heard
Uh,
basically it's gonna end like it's gonna end after Infinity War 2, but it's just kind of like maybe it shouldn't. Maybe I want to see like Reed Richards, Doctor Doom, and the X-Men. Like one day I want to see all that together in one giant universe.
I would love for them to do a noir Marvel universe. Do you dig any of the Marvel noir stuff? I
I
love
mean,
that stuff.
as long as it doesn't take over the main series. I mean, there's so much left in 616
Yeah.
alone that is still viable.
I'm just saying, like eventually, like if they're just like, okay, let's do a reboot of the Marvel. Let's do it's literally dark gritty reboot.
All noir.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we got so much left though. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
even though Secret Wars happened before Infinity Gauntlet chronologically, it's even referenced in Infinity
yeah.
Gauntlet.
Oh yeah.
Even though I would actually think that Secret Wars would work later, because as much as the Infinity Gauntlet is this all-being like weapon that makes you the Almighty, the Beyonder is actually above that before the retcon happened. So
Hmm.
you could make the Beyonder a bigger threat because, to be honest, again, his powers outrank the Gauntlet. So if you really want to go by heavyweights, the Beyonder is where you go. Like he's up there. At least again, pre-retcon Beyonder is just stupid powerful.
Right.
Like knocking out the Living Tribunal and wasting him and all this other stuff. And Secret Wars 2, he like kind of ran amok briefly, but yeah, we should have another issue, like another episode about like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Should it end, and um, is Infinity War 2 where it should end? Obviously, we haven't seen Phase 3 yet, or we haven't even seen Phase 2 end. Wait, no, wait. Now I'm mixed up. I'm mixing my phases up now. Is the end of Phase 2 Ultron? Is that the end of Phase 2?
Good question. Ultron. So let's see. How many things are left in Phase 2? We got Ant-Man, got Ultron, got Is that it? Well,
Taking a look right now. Let's see. I think the end of it is Ultron. Yes, we have Iron Man. Okay, here's in order. I'm not sure if it's in order or not, but Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ultron, and Ant-Man's the last of Phase 3. You don't end it on what? Why would you? All right, whatever. I figured Avengers: Age of Ultron would have been the way to end it with a bang.
yeah. Although no, hang on. Wait a second. No, is it part two? When's part two coming out? Or is that? Are they doing? Is Ultron going to be two parts, or is that the other? Is that
That's Infinity War.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah. So yeah, Age of Ultron is May 1st. Wow, it's only like 3 months from now. All right. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. So Spider-Man. I think I've covered everything I need to say about him coming back. I mean, what do you hope? What do you hope? Like, what are things you hope like him to have in this new soft reboot of Spider-Man? Like web shooters, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that stuff is cool. I think the web shooters, although I don't mind the organic webbing, like the web shooters, like when those screw up, it's kind of like it's you buy that a bit more than in like I guess was it Amazing Spider-Man 2 where he like briefly like lost his organic webbing because he had all that emotional shit to go that he was dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely I like the ideas of the web shooters like screwing up and like some that's in fact that's probably the coolest thing he does in Amazing Spider-Man 2 is like when one of his web shooters shorts out and he uses his thumb on the other one to like, split up. It's probably the coolest part of that whole fucking movie.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, we're talking special effects shots here. So I mean, you could say that about the Transformers movies that there was 5 seconds of cool CG in this one scene. But I digress. I just like I don't know. For me, like Spider-Man, I rank him with Batman in terms of like the quality of their rogues gallery. I love all the array of villains and like a villain hasn't really made a big splash in a Spider-Man movie in a while. It's all been underwhelming. And in fact, that's one thing I can't really give to the third movie. Although like the origin of like the Sandman is pretty impressive. His story is a bit weak. Of course, Eddie Brock getting shooting was very disappointing. The villains were handled pretty poorly in that, and the Amazing Spider-Man movies are no different.
Yeah, but worse, I'd say.
With bringing him back, he needs an adversary. He needs to bring it back. People can say what they want about like the old Spider-Man movies and how hammy they are, but Willem Dafoe fucking killed it as Norman Osborn. Yes. Absolutely killed it. You could sit there, Jameson, you slime, that dude absolutely killed it. We need someone like that to help establish, Spidey's new confident presence.
And or like at least for a villain too, like He may have not been like an end all arch nemesis, but Spider-Man 2, Milena is Doc Ock.
Oh yeah.
He just needed one film. That's all I needed. He needed one film, and we cared about him. Like he was awesome.
Hmm.
Not like
Absolutely.
not like Ra's al Ghul. I mean, I'm sorry, the lizard, that guy. Same guy.
Yeah, there's nothing there. See, what's great seriously, if you haven't watched the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, do that. It's great. In the background, you just see Dr. Connors just injecting something into his arm. There's you see a lot of him and his wife and his son, and there's character development. You actually care about him, which makes his transformation actually tragic, and it makes everything better. And
Hmm.
this is like, oh, Peter, I knew your father.
Hmm.
Well, goodbye. Like,
Right. There's no incentive to care about them. So that's another question. So if we're gonna have a soft reboot, how do we go about it? Like, if we're gonna reboot the movie, I thought that. I mean, I love seeing Spider-Man on the big screen. I will always enjoy seeing Spider-Man, even if the movie is just deplorable. I will probably still always like seeing Spider-Man.
and not walk out.
Yeah. So if that's the case, do we're gonna see Spider-Man in high school all over again, which I guess I'm okay with. I would have preferred it to be like later in his life where he's more experienced, but okay, whatever. Um, so how who's the new main villain now? Norman Osborn all over again? I mean,
Yeah. There's a twist, he got revived. They dipped him in the Lazarus pit or something.
well, the next film is gonna have, I believe, nothing to do with Amazing Spider-Man 3 or 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they're taking it in a new direction. So my idea, because I mean, like, it would just as much as I want to forget the Amazing Spider-Man films, I kind of like there's certain things that should already be acknowledged. Like we don't really need to see. I don't know, are they going to acknowledge Gwen Stacy's death in these new ones? Are they we gonna? All right, no, no, no. They didn't graduate. But she's dead.
Yeah.
Like I wonder what things they're gonna, because it's just God, if it's a complete origin story all over again, I will die. I will die. It's like in a 15 year span, or so. Like how many times can you like yes, Uncle Ben, all
All over again.
over and over again.
Yeah.
So like man, yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know who, because like God, I would love to see Mysterio at some point. That's the one thing about Bruce Campbell appearing in all of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Mhm.
I was just expecting him to be like the chameleon or something, He's just been
Yeah.
following Peter Parker around this whole time.
Why
Like,
not?
yeah, yeah. Other than, I guess they could just redo one of the ones they fucked up. Just maybe try to do. I don't know. Sandman again. I really just don't. I don't
I don't
know.
know what to do. Like, I don't know where to go with this. I mean, if I were doing it, I guess I would have him do um, Norman again because it's been enough time. And if we're gonna reboot something, let's get Norman done
Yeah,
properly.
yeah. No, no. Norman would be key, and especially for bringing into like the greater MCU. Absolutely, would be great. Just like no, no, no. The guy that wasn't Norman. This is Norman Osborn, and Harry's still at boarding school. It's okay. Just forget about him.
Right.
An
Uh,
interesting thing that the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon does, Peter Parker and Eddie Brock are kind of like old buddies, like they used to go to school together, and the way it actually sets up Eddie Brock as a more likable character than Peter Parker. Peter
kind of like
Parker's just kind of struggling with all of his angst and shit. Eddie Brock's got his shit down. Whenever Peter's a dick to Gwen, he's nice to Gwen, and you start to care about him. And again, when Venom happens, makes you care. I
Yeah.
would I would love for them to that to finally be done right. If they're gonna redo a villain, I would love to see another shot given at Venom.
Because you're using actually that's more Ultimate Venom. I'm familiar with it, but to be honest, if we're gonna do Eddie Brock, um, have you read um, have you read the original Venom run with Todd McFarlane on board?
I haven't like start to finish. Like I haven't read it, but I know all about it. Like I used to, I had like a Spider-Man encyclopedia when I was like in elementary school, and it would have like panels from that run. I definitely
Before,
had a good grip on that.
to be honest, that's one of the things I didn't like about the Ultimate Spider-Man was that version of Venom because when it when you have another character, oh look, he's best friends with Peter Parker, or that was the I take it they used the storyline from Ultimate where the Venom suit was created by both Eddie Brock's father and Peter Parker's father. Oh look, more of a coincidence. It was better done with McFarlane because when you have a world that has so many amazing possibilities, what made Brock so awesome was that he hated Spider-Man. He had a vendetta against Spider-Man, but Spider-Man didn't even know. Like it makes you wonder, like who's out there? What enemies have you made you're not even aware of? And like he obsessively hated Spider-Man. He became the ultimate villain in the Spider-Man universe. And when he gained the symbiote, it gave him Peter Parker's memories. It turned him into something terrifying, and he was out for blood. That's what made Venom in the original like run where it was like McFarlane had to do a little bit with it.
And
That's what made him awesome.
the '90s cartoon followed that pretty closely, did it not?
Uh, Pretty closely, yes. It didn't do it as uh,
It was a bit cornier, you know.
yeah,
You know, just it's just to see in the cartoon him like pumping irons, like yeah, I'm gonna beat up Spider-Man, you know.
yeah. That was not
But
like the comic one. He did it, but it was like this silent, like
yeah, I remember seeing that
preparation.
actually. It was like more intense. It definitely like
Yeah.
there's a lot of sweat. There's a lot of like anger in his eyes,
He
you
was
know.
like in a sewer, like training, and he found like some bunker underground, and he just stayed there with all the munitions and stuff. And he was just this. Even before he got the suit, he was still kind of Venom because of how much he despised Spider-Man. That's what I want. That is an ultimate villain for Spider-Man. Because I'm at this point, I'm a little burned out on everyone being super attached to Peter Parker's life. Kind of done with that.
Oh
Like
yeah,
we've
yeah,
seen
for
it
sure.
enough. For all I know, Aunt May is going to be was supposed to be the next supervillain because everybody attached to Peter, something happens and makes him evil or something, and I just was done. Like I want to see him make some villains that have backstories that have nothing to do with Peter Parker. They're just
Uh,
they share the world he's in.
yeah, no. On that note, I would love to see Craven done right. Oh my
Craven's
goodness,
Last Hunt.
he
Craven's
would.
Last Hunt. Whew.
Yeah, dude.
That was good stuff, man.
Yeah, I would. God, that would be great. Just yeah, yeah. You know, how, if Spider-Man like in a far out location, you know, like let's take him out outside of like the usual stuff, just beating up thugs and alleys and whatnot. You know, how wild would it be to have like a showdown, like in Craven's like trophy room or something? You know, like
Yeah.
that would be really cool to see. Oh
I
man.
I think one of the reasons that I supported the Amazing Spider-Man when it first came out was because I wanted to see Venom done right. Which, speaking of Venom, Venom is still getting his own spin-off, so
Mhm.
that's still happening, which is funny because it'd be funny if we still got the rumored, not official, but the rumored Aunt May spin-off. Like that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Like, what were they thinking? Um, if it's true. But yeah, with Venom, if he's getting his own spin-off, I sincerely hope that they're doing it the way it was intended. Not Spider-Man 3, not Ultimate. I want to see what was in the early 90s comics. Like that dude that like one of the cool scenes where like Spider-Man didn't have the suit anymore. He had his normal suit again and he was just in the train tracks. Some dude from the shadows pushes him into the train tracks in the subway. And when he jumps back up, everyone's like, "Whoa!" Like obviously because he has crazy agility. His reaction was, "My spider sense didn't go off," and it was like the paranoia that Eddie was slowly building in his mind, like the stuff that he was planting. You know, like all the creepy stuff. So That was something that I hope to do. I really want to see Venom take the time and really show us that you can make a great Venom because he's a great villain.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would love to see Venom and symbiotes be like, and then again, that would be something really cool to add to the MCU. Like, could
Yep.
you imagine them teaming up and taking on Carnage or something? Like that would be something.
Yes. And then when you have stuff like Carnage, um, now we're really getting into speculation. The Maximum Carnage storyline was an actual company crossover. You had Captain America, you had Firestar, you had I think that's her name, Deathlock, all those Deathlock, what his name is, the cyborg dude. You had all those dudes in that one big storyline. I felt it was too much going on, but in a universe where ensemble seems to work very well, um, they'd be right at home with Maximum Carnage. So that's really wishful thinking, but you can have those events now because Maximum Carnage kind of used. I mean, it would work without Cap, but it was a great effect. Like when Spider-Man's team was all beaten up and whatnot, and he looks up and there's Cap's hand, and it's like this is the ray of light that they need. So
Mm.
yeah, that that I'd like to see at some point. But at this, I'm just happy we're getting Venom. Happy we're getting him. I'm happy Spider-Man's back. It's just now my question is if Venom is showing up. Venom appeared in like he was Venom was terrorizing Mary Jane. That was one really cool part where like he was just terrifying his brand new wife. Those things were cool. Um, I don't know. I if I had it my way, I would like experienced Spider-Man, but at the end of the day, I'm happy he's back. So okay.
Yes, yes, it is for the best,
Yeah.
for sure.
Hmm.
Oh man. Mm. Yeah, I would love like God, they have so much now. People call me crazy. I would love to see another Ghost Rider movie. I thought the last one was fantastic.
Really?
Yes, Spirit of Vengeance. Did you ever check that one out?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
You should. The first Ghost Rider movie is bad. Like I am. You've seen that one, right?
No, I gotta see the one too.
No. Oh God. Okay. Well, the first one is just like so bad, unintentionally funny. The second one is intentionally funny. It's just insane. It's just
Really?
insane. There is a scene where Nicolas Cage he's kind of got like this whole Jekyll and Hyde thing with the rider transformation, and he's interrogating this guy in a nightclub while also trying not to transform into the rider. So
Uh-huh.
he's just pushing this guy up against the wall. It's like, you're gonna tell me what I want, and then like half of his face is turning into a skull. It's just really like insane and enjoyable, and like
Yeah.
they'll if they ever do another one, I don't know if they'll bring back Nick Cage. I don't know how old he'll be by then,
Huh.
but damn man, yeah, they got that. They got Moon Knight. They got Blade. There's so much, fodder for them to use. I don't know. I mean, so far the I think the last one they announced is well, what the hell, Inhumans in
Yeah.
2019. I think that's the very last Marvel movie planned right now.
Okay.
So
Uh, well, mine. I mean, I'm ambitious, and a lot of people are the same way I am, which is great. We got Spider-Man back. Now let's get everybody else. Are you excited for the X-Men movies? I'm not. I'm done with X-Men. I was done a long time ago.
So is just gonna be Apocalypse now? What else? I mean, there's Gambit. Okay, Gambit is my favorite. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be real right now. Yes, absolutely. And I like Channing Tatum. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
I think Channing's a great actor. I saw him in Foxcatcher. He was fantastic in that, and he actually does like his. Want to say his dad's from Louisiana, so there's no doubt in my mind he can get the accent down.
Yeah.
You know, my biggest thing is he gonna look like Gambit? Because I mean, like the one we got in Origins was just kind of he just had a bowler hat, like he just
Yeah.
had long hair and a coat. Boo! Look, I'm getting like I want to see the headband thing. I
Yep.
want to see the cool armor. Like I want to see Gambit. I'm excited for that. Other than that,
Mm,
Fox's take on X-Men's just kind of run its course for me.
mm.
I like I just can't see them doing much more with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and their oh they're going to be re-releasing what's Days of Future Past. They're going to be re-releasing a longer cut of that because Rogue was almost completely cut out of the movie.
Wait, is it going to be on Blu-ray or
I don't
theaters?
know. I don't know if it's going to come back for a limited theatrical run or if
Ugh.
it's just going to be the video, but there's going to be a cut that's like 15 minutes longer.
Is it?
So
Here's my thing. Like, I ever since X2, I'm kind of in the camp that every movie past X2 has just been not unnecessary. I don't really. I've watched all of them. I've watched every X movie to come out, and I'm not interested. Like I try to because I want to be interested, but as great of a cast as some of these movies are, every time I watch it, it's just like every character they have, they take giant liberties on how they look and how they act. Um, the only best looking character so far of all of them, out of all these movies that actually somewhat got the idea right, was the first class Magneto in Days of Future Past.
mm.
It was sort of got it right.
I will tip my hat to First Class. I did like First Class a lot. It was silly for sure.
Good movie, but I mean,
Um,
it's what it exists for is what I have a problem with. Why it exists.
yeah.
You know, like it exists for the same reasons Amazing Spider-Man exists. And if it didn't, if they didn't make that, can you imagine the X-Men movies that would have been made by Marvel?
Yeah, dude. Like again, for me, the biggest thing is the villains, and honestly, like a lot of the X-Men Fox movies they just do not. Okay, sure. Ian McKellen is awesome as Magneto, and that's about what's his Fassbender as young Magneto.
Hmm.
But like, man, I could imagine Marvel Studios doing like Omega Red on the big screen, or seeing Wolverine fight the Hulk, because that is such a cool like. See, that's what should be happening with X-Men.
You
I
know,
think. Yeah.
I like I like the Wolverine versus Hulk stuff, but every time I read them battling, I have a giant problem with that because if Iron Fist can knock out Wolverine, why is Wolverine getting up from punches from the Hulk? That's just a pet peeve, because Wolverine he's like Superman. They make him as strong as he needs to be. Like
Yeah.
adamantium, the properties of adamantium in the comics are preposterous. They argue that because it's the hardest metal on the planet, it can cut through anything. That no, okay, go get a butter knife, go outside and chop down a tree in one swipe. Like that's not how it works. And then there was an argument like I think people say with prep time, Batman versus Wolverine, who'd win? Okay, get a big magnet, done. Like and that people I know there's probably been something where Wolverine's immune to magnetism. Well, it didn't stop Magneto from doing so.
Yeah, it does kind of because I like Wolverine as a member of the team. Like I kind of like that he's kind of silly and short and like, let's go, bub. And like when Magneto just lifts him up and tosses him,
Yep.
that's when the rest of them get to work.
He's so useless against Magneto.
Yeah,
It's like if Doctor Doom, it's like the concept of Doctor Doom versus Magneto. Now Doom has ways around it. He's crushed Magneto on a number of occasions, but the concept, if his armor was actually just pure metal and he didn't have any way around it, oh, man in a tin costume or an iron metal costume versus the Master of Magnetism. I wonder how that fight's gonna go down. But now again, I know it actually goes down different. But if that were on face value, just metal suit versus Magneto. Quick fight.
yeah. Yeah, dude. Again, like I would love to see Marvel get X-Men and like a fresh cast.
Yeah.
New cast. House of M, man. Like I would love to see shit like that happen. Again, if we were to did like more things to fill the Marvel Cinematic Universe beyond Inhumans, that there's a wealth of additional crossover material once you throw the X-Men into the game.
I know, and I just keep feeling like no matter how good the movies are in Fox, they are still wasting. They're wasting more potential than they're giving out in what they own. Like, I don't care about Apocalypse because I know they're gonna take liberties. I remember how they made that one joke in X-Men 1 where they're like, "What do you want us to wear? Yellow spandex?" Haha. And it's like, well, hold on. Let's look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They get away with color. And they don't look stupid. So,
Hmm.
I mean, is it me or am I the only guy that really wants to see Wolverine in the Wolverine outfit?
Yeah,
Something like it.
yeah, exactly. God, oh man. Mm.
Black
Yeah,
leather.
dude. Just do the movie in the spirit of the freaking the '90s cartoon. Do-do-do-do-do-do, you
Well,
know.
speaking of 90s cartoon, dude, have you heard about the new series called Secret Wars coming out in the comics?
I heard about it. I don't know any details.
Oh, it's actually really ambitious. Finally, after all this time, Marvel's gonna have a reboot.
Oh,
And
wait. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right.
Battle World. But here's the thing: in the Battle World, they're gonna take elements of like different eras of the comics and put them in different like parts of Battle World. And one of the gangs is X-Men from '91, and they're bringing that team back and putting them in Battle World. And they might be potentially the new X-Men once the reboot happens. It's like yes, yes,
That's oh god, that's fantastic, dude.
brilliant, brilliant. Because I mean, how are we doing right now with the comics? I'm not as well versed on X Men as I should be, but I mean, in Avengers versus X Men, Cyclops. Spoiler alert: Cyclops kills Professor X. I mean, it's kind of a dark place right now for the mutants. So let's restore them back to their 90s,
Yeah.
glory.
Yeah, and didn't Wolverine die too?
Yeah, he did. I remember. I knew that they were gonna. It's comics, but they always bring people back. But
Of
I'm
course.
happy. I don't know. A lot of people love Wolverine. I am in the camp that I hate him as a comic book character. I do not like Wolverine. I don't like how he's like. His concept of his character is cool. I don't like what they've done with him and his knockoff characters. You have so many Wolverine knockoffs. The
Oh,
Deadpool was a
man.
Wolverine knockoff. X-23 is literally a clone of Wolverine. No, I'm not kidding. She's a clone of Wolverine. She has his DNA and everything. Dakin, son of Wolverine. Sabretooth, Lady Deathstrike. There's so many characters, and it's so Wolverine centric, and it's just like I'm done. And then like here's the best example. If you don't believe if anyone out there doesn't believe me, I challenge you to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and there's only one character that has two identical versions of himself, essentially. That's Wolverine. He has Bone Claw and he has Adamantium
Tornado
Claw.
Claw.
Yeah, which doesn't matter. They're two different characters. They do the exact same moves. Everything's exactly the same. I think there's like some slight cosmetic or slight changes to the gameplay, but are so minuscule. Why would you do that? And they look exactly the same. Why don't you make one brown and yellow or something? But no, it's got to be just two different versions. And then when Marvel's Capcom 3 came out, I'm like, oh yeah, I could play as my main guys. My A team was Cyclops, Guile, and Akuma. And I was like, all you get's Akuma. Wait, what? Wait, what? And then it's like Gambit. What about him? Is Gambit going to be in this? No. Cyclops? No. Like all these big characters, are they going to be in it? No. Who's going to be in it?
A Wolverine and X-23.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, what? Another Wolverine clone? Oh god, I'm done with Wolverine. I'm done with him. I am done with like in the Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos is so powerful, he's taking blows from Hulk. Or Hulk and Thor, all these crazy attacks. But he somehow gets his chest pierced by Wolverine's adamantium claws. Doesn't really hurt him. But I look at it like, what the that no. A blow from Mjolnir versus those claws. I don't care how sharp they are. That's like you you are disagreeing with physics in general by
Uh,
that panel. Thor has lifted the world engine. Like this dude can lift planets, and when he really goes all out, and he's swinging a hammer with the density of a dwarf star, and he's not even drawing blood, but the adamantium claws they stab him. Like, what? So when we go to that part, when we do Infinity Gauntlet, I might make an Easter egg when that happens. It's just dumb. So, anyways, and digressing. But yeah, I'm when I heard he died, I was like, oh, good. Let's hopefully you guys can keep it that way.
yeah, dude. Yeah, he's just kind of like when I remember the first movie, he was like,
Wait, I thought it's like wasn't like Cyclops kind of the leader? Like, what is
Yeah.
happening? Like, like what is?
Well, then like they made that one series. It was Wolverine and the X-Men, like that one animated series, and it was just getting to the point where it's just like Cyclops is the leader, and then they had to make Cyclops kind of a jerk to make Wolverine more sympathetic, and it was like, no, Wolverine's an asshole. Don't work around it. Wolverine's a jerk. Cyclops is the leader. That's period. That's how it works.
Oh, man. Ah, man.
So, if anyone has any comments, questions, let us know. This is just kind of an impromptu session. We just kind of felt like we had to do this because it's just so relevant, and we had that long discussion about what would happen if this happened. Well, guess what, guys? It happened. So here we are. This is great news. At the end of the day, we're very happy about this happening. I didn't believe it when I first saw it because I saw so many articles of speculation that when it finally was announced, it was like, no way, no way, and it was true. So I'm happy.
As am I. As am I. Praise be to Stan Lee. I don't know.
Yeah, praise the living tribunal. Yeah, it's good stuff. I think I'm out of points for this part. I don't know, anything else left? I mean, unless you want to spend the rest of the time making fun of Amazing Spider-Man.
I think
Why are you burned out?
we should like host an event like for people like to sit down in a theater setting.
Yeah.
Just like every 10 seconds, just like pause the movie.
Yeah, we have to break it down. Yeah, we have to educate people about why they should hate this film.
Yeah, do it like a seminar.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That'd be good. No, this right here. This is called bad pacing.
But I think we've spoken a good amount on it, and in fact, it is 2:30 in the morning. So
I think we gotta. Yeah, I forgot how long the thing was, but it was an hour or so. So we got a sizable thing out of here. We might edit it down to a podcast. But again, everybody, thanks so much for who are going to be watching. Again, this is not a live event. We promoted very well because the idea is to get a podcast out. So whoever tunes in, thanks so much for checking us out. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button below. And we hope to hear from all you guys and see your comments and sometime soon in the future.
peace.
Later.